Okay. So we are.
All right. So
see that.
As you can see, we trimmed this thing about 15 times, in and out, in and out, in and out. That's where that's going to sit like that. We're just going to get it nice and tight against there, right? We cut this out and cut that out. We got 2 3/4 inches on each side, so it's got enough clearance here, right? And then we put that piece up against it, spread it to where we wanted it, because it's got to meet this and this. And then we put our little arch in it. So now we're going to take this back out, put a slit here, cut this down straight so this, because we need the room for the gas pedal on this side, or else we could have went straight down, but then it gets too tight. I don't like when your feet are really close together, it sucks. So now we're going to cut this piece out, put that back in, tack it in place. Then that piece goes in, and then we trace that one out and drop it down, and it'll have all the overhang to fill in the sides, and then we'll cut that, and then that'll meet the other tunnel that's already in there. So Josh has done welding, got the pedestals on, got all that stuff, so all the underneath is done.
Everything's done.
We're going to be able to put the seatbelt brackets in even later, because the floor in that spot is pretty high away from it, so we're good.
Okay.
We're getting there. We're cutting these things off. We don't need those. These are welded in. So it looks like we're finally gonna leave the floor in. Gotta make sure that once it's in, it ain't coming back out. So I'm gonna check on that real quick after he cuts those 6 little studs off. Those are for like a bench seat or whatever, you know, regular seats that were in the car, would be in the car. So once he cuts those off, then we'll go back in there, check everything, pull it down tight, pull it down back as tight as we could get it, and then we're gonna put like the porta power, pull it from the sides and spread it out to make it meet the rockers, so that the tunnels, because the tunnel's trying to suck it back in at this point because the tunnel's strong. So we're like a 1/4 inch short on each side, so we're gonna pull that back out, make sure that's all good, and then go down and plug weld all those holes that we made. Alright?
Alright, our floor is in.
Yeah, buddy. Look at that thing.
Nice fit.
Everything fits nice. Now we gotta weld it all.
Go underneath.
Show you how we got that.
Oh, that fits good under there.
See the back? How nice and tight that is back there? Where we pulled it together?
And then I'm gonna stand on it just to close that little gap. But other than that,
that's it.
It fits good.
Now we're gonna go to town and weld the crap out of it tomorrow. Alright, so we got this piece out of here. I don't know if you can see that line right there like that. So we're gonna cut that out, put it back in here, see where we end up with that, and then fit that in there up against that arch and that arch, and then trim off the excess. All right. Let's see how this fits. That actually came out good. Nice. So we're gonna see how it fits in here. Basically, you're gonna have that much open in like that. So you get all the bolts for sure. I mean, there's no problem getting bolts now. And then this is gonna get folded. This whole thing and just dropping it in might be better off anyway. We'll get this bent back. going to come down like that. It's going to come straight down, so I'll be able to add a piece to that. I'm going to take this back off. This is going to go in there like so. Beautiful. I can spread out to that. And then it gets opened up on the inside. So that's going to go there. What we'll end up doing is tacking it right there where we want it. Tack the inside. We can go all the way back to about there, like that. This way this will drop down far enough. Yeah. So this. Recessing that, it'll make it go in a little bit further even, and then this could come to that edge. So it'll actually be two and a quarter inches deeper than what it originally was. So I believe that's where I'm going to go with this. I'll get that bent. And then that'll actually fold up into that. And then we can just put a piece across here. Alright, we'll see how that goes. Alright, so I just left you off with, it was looking like this, right? So, yes, that fits really nice and everything. But like I said, it would have been nicer if it was buried back in here like that, right? About an inch. But then you're going to see all this. So I'm kind of picky about that kind of stuff. So I went back over there. I gave him the dimensions again. Basically copied that. But I put this other lip on it. So now it'll do two things. It'll recess it back like that, right? And trim that back. It'll all be one piece instead of recessing that back and then having to stitch a piece across here. I mean, by the time I grind it all down and make it look right, this looks better, this fits better. It'll all be recessed in a good 2 inches for sure, at least more than it was before. About 2.25 inches is actually what it's going to be. These are 3 inches because it's irregular, so we're going to end up trimming that all back. All that'll get welded on the sides, and the thing will fit like a glove. So now I got to copy the arch that was in there onto this new one, and then we'll fit that in there. Okay? So I'm not going to go through that on the video again. Maybe we will. We'll see. But I'm going to redo that arch onto this piece. All right, so like I said, we're going to redo this piece, right? So being I'm going to redo it, I'm going to actually incorporate that little panel that would close this corner off. I'm going to make it, or try anyway, try to make it come out of this. So, I don't know if you can see that, but so that's going to be cut that way. And then I'll keep that panel over. Try to keep this thing all in one piece. It'll look neater. So, You can see how that fits nice up in there, right? It's got a nice lip, and that's why it took so long. Look at that. So now this little piece gets trimmed off, and that piece in the back goes flush with that, right? And then this arch will get cut out. This arch will get cut off, and the new piece will fit right in there. So that tunnel cover will fit right on there. And then this all gets trimmed off, flush, gets welded from the inside, grind it down on the outside like we did the floor. It'll be smooth, you won't even see it. You won't even know what happened. So this is why I did it this way, because I left enough room for that. This was a whole different contour. This went, I believe it went in or something, but what I'll do is when I get to this spot, I'll kind of stretch this out a little bit, and then it'll be a small gap that will put a little patch panel in here, or we could just put a patch panel in there now and grind it all smooth. Either way, that looks a lot better than the first one I made up, because the first one was okay as far as the fit goes, but then I would have had to make a panel, you know, a patch panel in that corner and in that corner, and then I would have had to put a piece across the top. So doing it this way, it's kind of more of one piece than two or three. So looks good. The arches in the middle there with the tranny, got a lot of room in there. And then we got enough room here for your foot. So this is what it looks like on the inside. Basically it looks like that. You still got the same width here. That's still going to be the same as what it had before. I mean, before it was way over here, but it'll be the same as what I showed you before. Brake pedal's getting moved over about 1.5 inches and forward about 1.5 inches towards us, back, say, okay? And once I make that pin, you can see how nice and tight that is right there. Look at that, no gap, nothing. So, like I said, that one little patch on the top, the other side's nice and tight. That's all gonna get closed off. Gonna be nice. All right, so now I'm gonna take it back out and cut that arch out of it, and then we'll start fitting the other piece, see if it fits, how good it fits. If not, we'll trim it up, and then that can get tacked in place to stay so that nothing will move while we're moving the other piece around and backing in and out. You try to do too many at one time, there's too many things moving around on you. So you got to get them close and then do what you got to do. So the top looks good. That looks good like that. Looks real clean. I like it. All right. All right, got that one cut out. All right, nice arch. Nice clean. I'm going to put that back in there now. Clamp it in and look at it real good. Probably tack it in a couple of spots. This way if I got to move it, I can break the tacks loose, but it's looking pretty good, so it'll probably end up staying there. All right. Yes, sir. And that all fits nice. Look, I'll show you how that fits right there. Look how nice and tight that gets. That goes like that. And then that'll all get stitched together all the way up. I'll fold that over to try to meet that hole. Everything gets cut. This gets trimmed to that line. Like that. All right, it's gonna go just like so. So we're gonna make sure this side fits the way it's supposed to fit. And then make this side even so that it's got a nice even all the way across. Looking good. Looking good. All right. Now we're going to try to fit this tunnel up in there to cover. So I'm going to take this back off. Okay, we got it to fit. It's right where I want it. So I'm going to take it back off. I'm going to make some holes so I can do some plug welds across the top to make that strong. So I'm going to take that off, make the plug holes for that, and then put it back in, get it as tight as I can in those two corners, because obviously that don't move. That's where that's supposed to be. Get a measurement from here to here and there to there, make those even, and then tack it in place. Okay, plug holes are made, cleaned. That edge is all cleaned, knocked down all the high spots, grinded down all the little welds that were there before. I'm gonna put it in here and tack it in. So before I even put this in, I trace this out. So I'm gonna cut this like 1/8 of an inch or 3/16, a little bit bigger. But I'm gonna trace this out because then it'll be easier to just grind it down than to try trimming it off once it's on the car. I'm gonna do that first, and then I'll check this side, see how much I gotta get off of this side too. It takes a lot of time, but you want it to look right, you gotta take your time. Don't rush it. Like I said, that's going to get trimmed back anyway, so I just need a rough cut. So I'm going to clean this off and cut myself. Show you how it fits. Goes there like that, and this is going to go right into here like that. Looking really, really nice. Make sure all these panels are nice and straight. This is going to get ground down even better, tighter, welded to that. This is actually going to get straightened out, and there's a little nice clean, one little clean piece right there, and that's it. Looks good, man. It's coming out nice. All right, so I got it tacked here and there. So now that won't move. I know that ain't going anywhere. This, we're just gonna push it all in real tight when we're ready. I got it centered in there. I got that gap is real good. That's the black marker that you see actually. So there's no gap there at all. There's gonna be no gap here at all, obviously. And there's no gap down here. So down here is good. I just got to grind this. So we got to make sure the arch or the cover of the tranny goes down, sweeps down, and actually butts up against this part of the floor on both sides. So that's where we're going to, once we start putting it in there, then we'll start trimming until that fits perfect. And then we'll cut the top of it off. We'll trace this piece out, and we'll make sure that that fits perfect. So it'll look like all one big piece when it's done. And then it'll come up into this. But you can see how much room you got. I mean, the tranny don't even go up that high. The tranny only goes up to here like this. So you got plenty of room for all these bolts from underneath. No problem. Not like before. You had to fight to get the bolts out. All right, so that's going to be like that. And then it's going to get tucked. Once it's up here, it's all going to get tucked against this. This will be a straight line here. And then we'll make this piece of this floor and that piece of that floor. All right. So next step is now I'm going to actually weld the floor, or at least tack it in place so that that tunnel doesn't move up and down or around or anything. And once that's set in place where that's not going to move, I don't have to weld it back or nothing like that. I at least have to get that front corner, the two front corners, maybe the two edges here, like the two outer edges done. So that doesn't move. So the height will be the right height, and across and front and back and whatnot will be right. All right. So let me get going on that, and then I'll get back to you when we're doing the tunnel cover.